So man, I have to ask, what are some plans you guys have for 2023? Get Heads and the Litecoin Foundation.
Yeah, for the foundation, I think just trying to show off that it's more flexible and multifaceted than what people think. Continue to develop MWeb, the extension block, that hides your transaction amounts in your wallet and stuff. We're working on a lighter version of that can be implemented into wallets, so that can be used in wallets that everybody uses. Focusing on a Lightning Network wallet for Litecoin and Bitcoin. So hopefully, I don't know if that comes out 2023 or not, but that's a focus as well. And then just building on some of the partnerships that we already have. And gaming's a big thing for the foundation. So they're 15% owners in a gaming organization called LTC Gaming, Litecoin Gaming. And that's been going really well. We have a team, an Apex Legends team right now that's competing this weekend coming up. So basically, they went through all the challengers time qualifying for Apex Legends. So it's just like in soccer, right? So like you have 16 teams, right? We'll say there's 16 teams. And the bottom 8 teams have to then compete to stay in the league for the next year. And then there's usually other teams that, that aren't in yet that want to, and they compete. Like they'll take the top 8 non-pro teams versus the bottom 8 pro teams and have them compete. And then the top 8 out of those 16 get to be in the pro league for the next year. Okay. So LTC Gaming has a team that is in that finals where it's the 8 pro teams versus the 8 qualifying teams that plays this weekend. And they're expected to be in that top 8. And if that happens, we'll have our first legitimate pro team in Apex Legends. And it'd be the first one ever for any cryptocurrency to have, I think, globally. So that's pretty exciting.
Why was it important for you guys to get into to gaming?
I think there's a big focus for gaming and crypto. So like game and earn is a big deal. And I think that's just going to continue to expand. But there's demographic of like 16 to 35 years old. I mean, that's the future of where our finances go in general. Like, what are they attaching themselves to? What are they trying to save in? How do they feel like they're earning what they deserve and whatever else, right? And so a lot of that comes through gaming, right? So like even my son, he's a streamer and he makes some additional money every month on Twitch, right? Doing stuff like that. So it took my wife and I a while to understand why that was, such a thing. And he does great. He's on the verge of making partner and doing some other stuff. And so that's an additional income stream for him that he wouldn't have otherwise, right? But gaming in the regular sense, can you imagine playing your games, earning tokens, and then converting those tokens into dollars and then paying your electric bill?
That whole concept is crazy. That's why I love crypto gaming so much.
That's what we're trying to focus on, things like that. How can we be a part of somebody earning rewards for gaming and then turning that around and actually paying bills with that, or buying, new controllers, or there's so much you can do with it. It's so much insane. And so, yeah, we just need to figure out how to carve something out in that space to be able to do that. But we feel like being part of the gaming space itself is very important, right? Yeah. So in order to legitimize, Litecoin, if someone sees Litecoin as a rewards option or a payment option in their gaming experience, they already have some experience or knowledge of being able to invest in Litecoin because it's already a brand, a name that they know.
The crypto gaming aspect, I think the biggest problem right now with crypto gaming is it's not very fun. There's some games out right now and it's just more
You're talking about like blockchain oriented games, right?
Yeah.
Those are tough. Yeah, those are tough.
they're tough to get through.
Yeah. So there was a group out of Germany. They created a game called Lightbringer that was based off of the Litecoin. It was built on the Litecoin blockchain. It's an RPG game, right? So it was one turn and then one turn. But you could earn Litecoin as you're playing the game. But it was, those types of things, they become more experimental at this point. It's not something that's going to go mainstream necessarily right away. There's a lot of learning to do still.
A lot of learning. And I think that's the whole beauty of it, man. The crypto, we're still very early. I know we say that every year, but we're still very early in the space. And as we evolve, as we go along, it's going to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like anything else. I mean, if you go back and look at the first games that were Pong, right? I mean, nostalgic wise, it's fun,
Yeah.
And somebody my age, I remember when actually Pong came out and people were like going nuts over it. I was only like maybe 7 or 8 but at the same time, I'm like, what is this Pong? And then, I go down to the general store in my town and the general store had like 4 video games set up. There was a Pac-Man machine, a Donkey Kong machine, there was the pinball machine, and there were a few other things, right? And that was your gaming experience. You had to physically go to one of them. It was the only reason why I went with my parents to when they would go to their Saturday night bowling league was because they had a Pac-Man machine in the back area. When you go past all the guys sitting at the bar and smoking, there is a Pac-Man machine back there. So
as we go along, the experience always evolves, and I think it's harder for people to understand that now, just because technology is so advanced now. They don't understand that it can get more advanced.
Yes, some of it I'm a little uncomfortable with where it might end up going. going, like where it's in your head and stuff. I'm not a fan of that stuff. You're
Yeah.
taking, like, for me, I had to physically get in my parents' car in the middle of January and go and watch them bowl 3 games in order to go play Pac-Man. Now someone just throws a VR headset on and they can play virtual poker or they can do whatever they want. But at some point that advances too. But where does it advance to?
Contacts.
Accessibility. Yeah. Accessibility always becomes more and more personal to the point where it's now like,
Yeah, it's in you. When you think about it, it gets scary, but it's interesting to see.
oh yeah, you're making history every day with this stuff. So
Making history every day.